shattered. The intake hall shudders. Order is being restored, one brutal verdict at a time. Blast through the contemptuous defendant pack and hold Courtroom-B intake threshold. Your operator drives forward with the gavel slam, hammering out a final concussive shockwave that thunders across the intake hall. All three contemptuous defendants, already staggered and disabled, ascend sprawling into the splintered pew wreckage, legal briefs swirling in the sonic wake. The Courtroom-B intake threshold falls silent under cold fluorescent light, order restored to the front lobby. A second wave is inbound from deeper in the hall. Corrupt clerks approaching with sealed ledgers. Blast contemptuous defendant at 45 meters and push forward hard. The gavel slam fires two thunderous concussive pulses down the oak-paneled hall. Both contemptuous defendants catch the shockwave full in the chest, staggered back into the wainscoting before crumpling. The corridor ahead clears and you drive the magistrate hard forward, closing significant ground toward the sub-level archive stairwell. Sweep sub-level municipal records for stragglers and lock it down. Your operator descends into the sub-level municipal records. Fluorescent tubes flicker over rows of tilting filing cabinets as a dense cloud of process server drones erupts from the stacks. writs trailing like poisoned confetti. The magistrate draws the subpoena order and fires long into the back rows. High-grade vellum writs complicating the drone formations mid-flight. 3 specters billow up from the evidence drawers, exhaling false healing auras across the swarm. Smart play. Absolute judicial immunity seals the record. Strike through the crooked solicitor pack and hold third floor appellate corridor. You snap the subpoena order into the marked solicitor first. The vellum writ coils around them and slams them into the paneled wall, stripping their procedural loophole aura from the whole formation. With their buffing anchor down, you surge forward and drive your shoulder through the pack, the corridor's oak panels rattling as you close to melee range and lay the contempt verdict across the second solicitor. Strike right, geared, bailiff turncoat at 18 meters and keep pressing the objective. You close the gap on the riot-geared bailiff turncoat, drawing it out with a sharp subpoena order writ that snaps around its shield arm. Then the contempt verdict lands hard across the visor gap, stripping its footing and dropping it to the corridor floor. The 2 crooked solicitors behind you are already down. The appellate corridor is yours. Push hard to Courtroom-B main chamber and strike anything in the way. Your operator vaults over the fallen turncoat and drives hard down the appellate corridor toward Courtroom-B, the last stretch of oak paneling giving way to the soaring brass-hinged doors ahead. Two crooked solicitors scramble to intercept from the flanks, procedural briefs blazing, but the contempt verdict strips their loophole buffs mid-stride and drops them both before they can slow you. The chamber doors are close, 90 meters and closing. Sweep Courtroom-B main chamber for stragglers and lock it down. You push through the brass-inlaid doors into Courtroom-B main chamber. The gallery is empty, evidence tables overturned, but the chamber is not silent for long. Chief Prosecutor Valdemir rises from behind the judge's bench, robes immaculate, dossier in hand, flanked by two crooked solicitors scrambling into position along the jury box. Your sweep flushed them, now the prosecution begins. Focus everything on the Chief Prosecutor Valdemir. Trigger absolute judicial immunity, strike it and finish the kill. You invoke absolute judicial immunity. The court record seals with a thunderclap of divine decree, collapsing Valdemir's immunity phase mid-oration and leaving him naked before the bench. The contempt verdict lashes across the dais in a brutal mid-range arc, stripping his procedural buffs as the gavel slam shockwave staggers both flanking solicitors. Valdemir crumples over his dossier, gavelled into silence. The chief prosecutor is down. Focus everything on the appellate automaton, trigger absolute judicial immunity, strike it and finish the kill. You invoke absolute judicial immunity. The court record seals with a thunderclap of divine decree, and the appellate automaton's override cycle stutters and collapses as its status rewrite protocols hit a wall of inviolable law. You hammer it with gavel slam shockwaves at mid-range, each concussive pulse cracking the iron casing, then close and bring the contempt verdict down on the exposed chassis with the full weight of the bench. The machine's judicial memory banks shatter in a spray of brass gears and smoking vellum. Strike crooked solicitor at 18 meters and keep pressing the objective. You level the contempt verdict at the closer solicitor, 18 meters out. A decisive melee stride closes the gap and the gavel head connects square on the procedural ledger, shattering it clean. The buff aura they were winding up collapses with a crack of parchment and brass, leaving them fully exposed and crumpling across a gallery pew. The second solicitor, 20 meters at your 2 o'clock, scrambles for the side aisle. You advance and bring the verdict down again, stripping their loophole shield bare before they can raise it. Mission complete. Adrenaline standing down. Outstanding work, operator.